If you want easy way, you can look at what is destined in your chart, what is fated. But if you want something else, you got to have the compulsion to go and achieve that. That means it's going to be hard. I started with going to a lot of fortune tellers, and I still remember this. I was 15 years old. The guy said to me, I still remember, he said, you'll be poor until 45 years old. I said, like that, how would I see? 45 or say, what happens after 45? You get used to it. So you imagine I was 15 years old and you were me, and you went through a reading like that. How would you feel? You felt devastated, right? So that's a good lesson for me. Never tell people their destiny like this, right? I will always like to start the chart with something positive. Give people some hope. Don't give people no hope. In every chart, there's hope. And then I realized one thing. It also depends on the person reading the chart. That it's not he's wrong, he's right. Based on my chart, I'm supposed to be poor until 45 if I follow the chart. But I never followed the chart. I went on a different course. I knew what was going to cause me to be poor, and I didn't do it. I didn't do the things that is going to cause me to be poor. I did the things that were most difficult in the chart. So of course, throughout the period, then I went to and learned this system. I learned the art. I went to Hong Kong. I went to a lot of places, talked to the teachers, seek out many masters. Everyone thinks they're the best in the field, yeah? And everyone thinks as long as I can predict your future, I'm good with this stuff. I realized halfway through my career that it's not about being accurate. It is about being able to transform and change the life to the way that you want it. And the whole idea of astrology is learn to be in control, not to be controlled by destiny.
I think the biggest challenge for most people is that we haven't defined what we really want. I think for business, you should have a goal. For personal life, there should also be a goal. For your relationship life, there also must be a goal. If you have set up something, at least you can actually work towards achieving it. Okay? So if you have not done so, part of your task should be, at least set up what you want to achieve. I think for business, a healthy growth would be 30%, right? Especially if you're in a service business, most of you probably are. It should be at least a 30% growth, okay? So if you don't achieve a 30% growth, that means something could be wrong with your management and or your sales system or your organization that you need to fix, okay? It should be a healthy 30% growth, healthy. So in terms of relationships, some of you will say it's very hard to measure, right? How do you measure relationships? Well, you can measure it by activities, milestones, and memories created. What sort of interesting memories have you worked to create? So that would be interesting, right? Places to go to, memories that you share, experiences that you create together. So that will be good measurement, yeah? And your own personal goals, what sort of academic achievements, right? New skills acquired, new experiences acquired. That's also important. If you just let it be and leave it to fate, maybe fate doesn't have much in store for you. So you should actually write this down, what you want to do. Okay, not just travel to a place, right? You want what experiences you want. So that's something that I personally would look at, right? Like what new tools and skills I would need for my own work. For example, I'm still learning something about financial management. There's nothing to do with metaphysics, but I think I need that to actually make my business even better. Okay, so maybe something like that might be useful for you.